again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the N.O.W. show. On today's episode, we're going to be talking to one of our greatest partners, a father, a devoted husband, a coach, a teacher, a mentor, a leader, a pastor. Is everything. He wants me to be as simple as possible. Join me in welcoming to today's episode the MD of Prima Garnet Africa, Mr. Lolu Akinwunmi.
Thank you very much.
First and foremost, I want to say a very big thank you to you. Very big thank you. I mean, all of this couldn't have been without you. I remember when I came up with this dream of the N.O.W. show, I came to you. You welcomed me, you sat with me, we talked about it, and you just encouraged me on and provided everything that is needed to make it start. You are a wonderful person. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, so you know what the N.O.W. show is about. So, who to you is an overcomer and a winner? Who do you consider to be an overcomer and a winner?
Well, the way I like to present it is, you cannot be an overcomer if there's nothing to overcome. You cannot win except there's been a challenge or a race. And from that simple perspective, you can then say that an overcomer is someone who has triumphed, or a winner is someone who has triumphed over a set of challenging situations or a set of challenges, and someone who has, come out on top in them.
Someone who has come out on top, like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Viewers, today's episode we're going to be talking about overcoming loss, and especially when it's at a young age. And I know that's the reason why we're here with Uncle Lolu today. Uncle Lolu, I know you lost your parents quite early in life. Can you take us a bit on your journey through life?
I lost my mom when I think I was about 16, and my father 10 years later. But it wasn't that bad, because I lived with my auntie, who I was already familiar with, and who had spent lots of time with when my parents were alive. I was in very familiar and comfortable surrounding. When I was in A-levels when my mom died, by the time my father died, I was already working. We weren't living together, although we were very much in touch. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad.
Because I know that the loss of a mother can be very, very devastating for any child, whatever age. Because I lost my mother too when I was 20, going on 21. I was the first child, and I know that it had various effects on each and every one of us, my siblings, and there were other things that not having a mother did to me. Were there any, down times on your journey, not having your mother with you especially?
Well, I happen to be her only child.
Okay.
I think what helped the most was my auntie who I lived with happened to be her next younger sister.
Okay.
And I already was familiar. I was in touch with them from the time I was very small. She lived with us, so it was like an extension. And you begin to feel emotional when there's something in particular that maybe your mom used to do, and then it stopped happening and all that and stuff like that. Nothing beyond the fact that, oh well, you didn't see her anymore. You missed seeing her. But it wasn't a matter of, oh, if my mom was alive, I would have traveled as my friends are traveling, or if my mom was alive, I would have gotten a car as my friends are getting a car. There was no such gap.
Okay, because you see, nowadays you have a lot of young people who make excuses, either that they've lost their parents or the parents are never there. So you're saying that sometimes these things shouldn't affect you. It shouldn't be something that will determine who you are. It shouldn't determine what you become.
They can affect you, but a whole lot again depends on the kind of person that you are.
Okay.
I believe I enjoy God's grace. Mentally, I'm a very strong person, even if I say so.
Okay.
And I'm also a very pragmatic person. And I don't believe in undue emotion. What I believe needs to be done, then has to be done. I don't sit around moping. And I tell some of my friends at times when we're talking that, look, while some of you are still suckling on your mother's breast, I mean, I was already taking decisions for myself. I didn't need to ask anybody for decisions.
That's right.
I simply transformed from a very young adult, I was 16, to an adult that was taking decisions.
So from being
about 5 years, I skipped 5 years.
Okay.
And I think it's worked out quite well.
So from being mommy's boy to taking charge
I
of your
never
life.
was mommy's boy. I'll tell you
You're
why.
the only child? You were the only child.
Yeah, that's another interesting
yes.
thing. Either because my mom was in the military, she was in the military,
Okay.
medical corps. She didn't indulge me. You'd think maybe she had 5 or 6 other children. Not that she didn't love me, but she didn't indulge me.
So that's a note for parents.
She didn't indulge me.
If you didn't indulge, I mean, if you don't indulge your children, they are more likely to be stronger.
No, without any doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she didn't indulge me.
Okay.
And I mean, she was my mom, everything, but she didn't indulge me. I can say that straight away. She was loving, but she was also very firm.
Recently, we spoke to a group of young adults, and one of them had said that in navigating through life for young adults, it was important to have a good support system. Good support system, I mean, I would assume that your parents form the first support system for any growing adult. So where you don't have them, what would be your advice for a young adult out there who is growing up and dealing with these challenges? My parents are not here. I've either lost them to death or separation that could happen, or they're just not there. Maybe they're busy with life and they're just absentee parents. You do have some of them like that.
I experienced all. My mom passed on first, but before she passed on, they were separated.
Wow.
So I was living with her. And you know, the way it works is nature abhors vacuum. The first line of support is your parents. If it's not there, it probably will be other relatives. If that is missing, it could be very close friends. It could be a teacher or a mentor. It could be a pastor in church, but there would be one line of support. It may not be as strong as what your parents would have offered, but it will always be there. But you know, most people don't know that the way God has created us, there is more strength in us than people imagine. And unless you are really tested, you will not know how much strength you had in you.
Unless you're tested,
unless
you don't know how much
unless the
strength
situation presents that test for you, it's only then that you know that, oh, you actually can get through so many things without necessarily depending on too many people.
Yes. So it's actually important when you have that vacuum to try and fill it with somebody. You need to create that support system for yourself. Either relatives, like you said, teachers, pastor, just look for somebody out there you can reach out to, because
I didn't have
it
to.
does help.
I didn't have to. I simply became my own support.
I like that.
Seriously, as odd as
your
it
own
may
support.
seem. Yeah. I mean, not that I was independent of people.
Yes.
But I grew to rely on my own support.
And I'm sure that's where the God factor comes in.
That's
because
where the
definitely,
God factor,
yes. So
especially
can you?
After I became a Christian.
Okay.
But before I'll give you an example. We finished A levels.
Okay.
And my mom was already, she had passed on. My father wasn't around. And it was time to hustle, university admission. And in those days, it didn't matter whether you had triple A's in A-level. You'd have to go to the uni and follow up, and they would carry your file. And many people would come with their parents. And I didn't even wait for anybody. I simply went there on my own, and I sorted it out and got my admission letter. And that's been my approach generally to life. I won't say no if a help offer comes, but I don't go looking for it.
Yes.
I don't go looking for it. So it's created some sort of independence in me that I can sit down and work out the way I want things to go, and then follow through on them.
Looking back, because it happens with me, you know, having lost my mother when I was 20, when I look back at my life, I actually think and know that God was with me all the way. That had it not been for God, where would I be? I'm sure you feel like that many times. Every time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, especially, see, it matters little whether you are a Christian or not. When God has his hand upon you, God has his hand upon you. And God is interested in everyone he has created. It's just that his plan for each person is different. And in your life, as you progress, especially if you have a relationship with him, you see what you'll experience with God. God is not going to take over your life 100% and do it for you, but God will intervene. If God were to take over our lives, then and if we didn't have to do anything, then we would not have to be accountable. We can easily say, well, God, that mistake happened. You are in charge now, so why are you blaming me?
That's right.
Or he leaves you. He's put things in place for you to function, created you in his image, the brain has helped you to get good education. But because you depend on him, he will intervene. God intervenes when you need help. If you don't need help, he won't intervene.
That's true. That's true. And you must reach out. And you must reach
out.
At
times you reach out. That time, because he can see what you cannot see, he'll position the help ahead of you.
That's true.
But God will not do what you can do, which is part of the problem in Christianity. You hear things like, oh, I leave everything. You can't leave everything to God. You can't leave everything to God. I mean, a farmer has some grain here. There's land waiting there. And you say you leave everything to God. You've got to till the land and put that, and then pray that God, please let rain come. That is the realm of the divine. I cannot create rain. But I've done my bit, you know, and it's a collaboration between you and God.
So God has his part, but you certainly have your own part as well.
You have a major part. That's my approach.
You know,
and I think it's worked.
It should be the approach to everyone.
It's worked quite well. You know, there's a lazy type of Christianity where people believe that God will do, or God cannot do everything. You know, he can't do. He has already told you that go ahead and prosper and do this. He has empowered you. Or it gets to a point where you need divine intervention. Then if you call on him, he'll certainly come in. He'll step in.
So what would be your advice to a young man or a young lady out there who loses both parents, let's say, and is looking at life like, oh, it's all over, that's the end? What would you say to that person at that minute, especially having experienced something like that yourself, maybe at different times? But what would you say? Because, I mean, you must be able to encourage that kind of person.
It's not pleasant to lose anyone to start with.
Never.
Especially your parents.
Yes.
But you see, it's not the end of the world. It's simply
the end of the world.
It's simply the end of a chapter and the opening of another chapter. And except you understand that, you will stay for so long within that old chapter when the new chapter is waiting. So every time that happens, it creates a new opportunity for you to start something new, something different. In the past, two people looked after you, they catered for you, they did everything.
Yes.
Now you've lost one or both. What it simply means is that now you've been promoted to the point of being able to do those things for yourself.
Promotion.
You know, it's
so behind every dark cloud,
you are promoted to a mature level.
Yeah, like you're saying.
Yeah, I mean exactly.
It's a promotion.
But except you see it that way, you remain there and be saying that if my parents were alive, and then every minute time is going.
Yes, that's true. Especially for those out there who keep making excuses and going back to the past and sitting down there. You've heard it from Okololu. It's a chapter that has closed. A new chapter is opening in front of you, and you need to possess that new chapter. You need to step into that new chapter. Okololu, any closing lines for our viewers out there?
But I think you've asked all the
but I'm sure you do have something to say in closing.
But within the context of what we have been discussing,
yes.
I always like to encourage people that there's so much in you waiting to be discovered. There's so much, it's infinite. Literally speaking, there's nothing that you cannot do. And sometimes you need to pass through a difficult situation, maybe losing your parents. What God has simply done is to move you away from the point of depending to where you become independent. It's not the end of the world.
It's not.
I mean, by no means.
Yes.
And so it's nice to be very pragmatic, to be very honest with yourself. Don't live in denial. Don't live in denial. Don't put the blame on the past. The past is gone and can't come back. Yeah.
It's gone.
So you've got to make fresh plans for the future. And the future will always be better than the past, if you know. I mean, I know folks who were in school together, and they used to bring them to school in Rolls Royce. Wow. In secondary school. I mean, without prejudice, it hasn't impacted in any big way in their now life, which is the point I'm trying to say. And so,
so it's not even about how you started.
No,
it's more to do with what you have done to make sure that you either sustain or do better than where you were starting from. Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, Uncle Oz. I'm sure you do know that we're going to keep coming back to you. You are a partner on the N.O.W. show. Thank you very much. And give our love to Auntie Josephine. Oh my God, lovely woman. Okay. And your wonderful sons, Tosi and Shani. Yes. Thank you so much, Uncle Oz.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. I lost my mother 30 years ago. I was a first child. 4 other children much younger than I was. But I knew it was not the end of my life. I thank God that He pulled through for me. And today, here I am, my siblings. I'm dedicating this episode to the memory of my mother. You've heard it all from Okololu. I didn't want to make it just about me, my own experience, having lost a parent at a very early age. You've heard it all from him. It's all about taking responsibility for your life, taking action, going forward for the new chapter that God has opened for you. You can do it too if you're out there and you think that you're going through one loss or the other. God is on the throne. He has given you power to have dominion, and you can have that dominion. So go ahead, fight, take your life, you own it, and make a success of yourself. Till I come your way again on the N.O.W. show, keep winning.